Hi friends, and welcome back to Rugged Mountain Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, and this evening we are talking about organizing in small spaces. As many of you know, we did downsize considerably when we moved into our cabin, and Dean actually made all of the cabinetry that we have in the kitchen. This cabinet is my largest. It has my built-ins on the end for all my cookbooks. But I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed at the moment because everything that I'm showing you on top of this counter and on top of this counter and this here on the floor came out of this one cabinet. So now what I did is that I took everything out of the cabinet, I wiped it down, and now I'm going to organize it back and possibly do it even a little bit better because it's really just been done as I go, trying to maximize the space, and obviously it has worked. You will see that it is large, it's deep. Top and bottom there, it's just one large cabinet with a shelf in it. So my plan is to work left to right, top to bottom, to get all of this and this and this put back nice and neat. And that's the other thing when you're working with a small space that I have come to realize is that you just don't do things willy-nilly. You really do need to have a plan. And when I started putting things in here and putting this together almost 3 years ago, I did have an idea, I did have a plan, but yet it has evolved over time as well. So I'm getting out my little step stool here so I can sit down instead of sitting on the floor, and we can get started. And what I love about this is this right here. It can expand however far that you want it to. And I usually expand it pretty much all the way. Maybe not quite all the way, but close to it. And you can actually just put it in whatever direction you want. Whether it's, I do mine like this, or if you wanted to, you can just go with whatever direction you like. I like things pretty even, and so I kept this kind of centered here. And why did I do that? Because I want to be able to put things in here lengthwise that are pretty long. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to do this in the evening, I don't know. But I'm doing the best I can. So let's go ahead and start filling this up with the items that I use in using this particular gadget and see how much space it saves. So now I have what I need standing up that I can grab very easily. And I put everything on the top shelf, things that I use most often. And these, from experience, these Pyrex pans, they're a big pain when they are laying just flat in the cabinet all stacked inside of each other, having to lift them up and take them out. So that's why I really like this little gadget here. And that still gives me a good bit of space right there. So this is what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to take a lot of my odds and ends, like the pie crust protector, my roasting tray, cutting mat, cutting board, and cookie cooling rack. And I'm just going to group them all together like this according to what is used the most. And I'm just going to put it in that little space. And at this point, if I wanted, I could even collapse this a little bit. But I like there to be a little bit of space. So we'll keep moving on. 2 Pyrex, 1 cast iron. I really don't know why I have 3 because I don't need 3. Probably just 1 Pyrex and 1 cast iron would be enough, but you always seem to get a straggler there somewhere. So I'm just going to slide these all the way to the back. I don't use them quite that often, and so I put them closer to the back, keep more to what I use routinely up front, which will make sense by adding these pots because I do use them every single day. Okay, I do a little adjusting there. Now, is there a better way that could be done? Probably, yes. I'm sure there is. But this is working for now, and I'm trying to think, there probably is a gadget, but you know, even if I had these on their side, like these, that's going to take up more room. At least here, when they're going vertically, it's just that one space. But again, it's always a work in progress. And again, because I just put extra stuff in the back, these few storage items are going to go in the way back. This thermos here, this juice pitcher, and I always keep an extra couple jars where I can get to them relatively quickly. And I have a few extra jars of potatoes that would not fit in the pantry cupboard, so I keep them in here as well. How many of you guys have loose stuff like this? This is my silicone bread mat, or when I'm doing pie crust, things like that, bread, and I roll it out. So I'm just going to take it and lay it over top of the Pyrex because I do use it very, very often. Now don't lie, you know it as well as I do. Everybody has some sort of semblance of a junk drawer. Maybe you don't, but you really can't convince me otherwise. And mine's not huge, but it's kind of funny looking. This is my junk drawer. This is just a normal little plastic tub that you get at the dollar store. And I'm in here every single day, but it's where I have my canning stuff real quickly here, like my funnels. You know, if I'm at the counter and I'm coring apples, you know, meat thermometer, just everything I use. There's no junk in here, but I call it that because it is just a conglomeration of a lot of stuff. And it'll slide in real nice right there. And this little plastic cutting board slides in underneath of it, and it's easy to handle right there. Over here on my door, I have, well, that one is missing because it's in the drain board drying, but I have my measuring spoons hanging up. I can grab them so easy that way. I love that. Now this next little item was not made for this. I have some plate stackers. I've seen a lot of times where you put plates on these in cabinets to save space. They're not wide enough for pots. I've just seen them for plates, but here's how I use them. I keep them side by side to maximize all the space that I can. I also a lot of times put them according to what I use most. Ouch. And they kind of slid around when I moved them. Now this isn't ideal right here, but these are little Christmas boxes that you put goodies in. So since it's Christmas time, I just set them right up here. And I have everything at a hand's reach. Now, everything is off this one counter. Yay, I'm feeling better. But all I have to do is turn around and see this. Okay, same rule applies here. It's a little bit different just because I have some things that I don't normally have because it's the holidays. You know, like these aluminum pans here and here, and just a few little odds and ends here. And this actually does not belong there. That's why cleaning this out from time to time is a good idea. Okay, so now this is going to get a little bit easier because I have Dean helping me. He's behind the camera.
Yay, Dean.
All right, so again, the things that I use the least of are going to go in the back, or the things that I don't want to say that I just use the least of, less frequently, whatever, but I have all these baking pans here, cake pans, baking pans, muffin tins, which I use the muffin tins pretty regularly. So even though it doesn't look good, they'll go on top. And then I have my roaster, my smaller roaster on the very bottom. And these will go on the bottom shelf in the very back. Now, believe it or not, I'm not lying to you when I tell you that I use this enameled cast iron Dutch oven just about every single day. I know my frying pans get used every single day, but this one does as well for a variety of things. So I always keep it up front, and so I can grab it easily, but it's also heavy. Another reason why you'd want to keep it up front, since it's heavy, you don't want to have to go digging through a deep cabinet for it. This right here is actually the lid to my large stock pot. And Dean, God love him, he puts away the dishes every single morning. And this does not go here or go in this cabinet. So I'm just going to set it aside. This is my little mini crock, and the only thing I use it for is for like simmer pots during the holidays that smell nice, and I'm not using it at the moment, so it's going to go in the back as well with the baking items. Now this I have no good explanation for. This makes no sense to me whatsoever, having this many. I showed you the 3 loaf pans, and it was one too many, but that's okay. This pie pan, as gorgeous as it is, was given to me as a gift. And then I've had Pyrex, and then there's some of the blue corn flour, so definitely keep that. And then I have a Pampered Chef. I don't know. I'm not going to bake this many pies. So So there's something that I could downsize, but I'm not going to do that this evening. This evening, I'm just going to put it away nice and neat. Now, since it is the holidays and I am using these and making little things to either take to people or take to something, I'm going to leave these up front. All these little to-go items. Actually, this is a good thing about cleaning something out. You learn what's in something. This is a little to-go item, probably from the trailer because it has little ketchup packets in it. I'm positive this is from the trailer and needs to go back there. So I'll put that aside. This pan is an old pan, just an aluminum, but it is a great lasagna pan. It's a great cake pan. I use it all the time, so it goes up front as well. So I'm going to rethink this for a second. This lids. That. I'll do like that. Turn those that way. And I hate having all this aluminum stuff hanging around, and it makes such a horrible noise and it just takes up a lot of room. But you do what you have to do for the holidays. So that is that half of the cabinet. Okay, another thing about having cabinets that are custom made, Dean did this so that not only, again, my little hooks here, this door opens all the way. You know how a lot of kitchen cabinets, they'll just come out to here? Mine opens all the way, so that's helpful. Now I'm going to need a little bit of Dean's help with something. Okay, so now I had to get Dean's help in bringing these back over in front of the cabinet. Now, all of these are canned goods. We have everything from carrots, cauliflower, my honey, cherry syrup I made, whole tomatoes, tomato paste, beets, beans, and cherries, just regular whole cherries. Great for grabbing and making a cobbler with. So anyway, like you saw the potatoes in the back here, I like to keep a few things right up front so that if I have a last minute idea, something basic that we use a lot of, I have it. Otherwise, you know, when I'm planning, I can walk over to the pantry cabinet. It's not that far away. So I'm going to go ahead and put the largest in first. Now I'm not going to push it completely to the back because I don't need to reach all the way back there. And I'm sure at some point when I'm cooking, I'm probably going to take a few leftover jars or something and probably put them back there as well. But for now, that's the way it's going to be. I need to get a better box because that one's really kind of flimsy. And then we have this one. And so now with this flat, I try to keep it all of the pint jars. First of all, they fit better when you keep it correct. It's not as flimsy when it's just a box lid. And then that does enable me to take a box that has some odds and ends in it, tomato paste, evaporated milk, you know, stuff like that, and I can just place it on top. Two shelves, easy peasy. everything at my hand when I need it, what I need most, and where I need to store a few things. So I feel much better now that both of my countertops are cleared. So I hope that it has helped to see how I organize a lot of stuff into a much smaller space. It's easy to get to. I have everything planned out and right at my hands when I need it. And just as a reminder, we are still doing our Friday night lives every Friday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific. I hope that you'll take some time and stop in and visit with me. And we always seem to have a good time and some good chats. And I thank you for joining me up here on the homestead today. We're always so glad when you do. I look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, take care.